In this week's episode of Keeping It Real, Cam Marston gives us his high-level summary of the past few weeks in politics and current events with a heavy dose of snarkiness.
Today I'll offer several high-level summaries of the past few weeks' news events from my own point of view, which includes heavy doses of pith and snark. First, the Democrats held their nominating convention that included no one but their most distinguished sycophants in the room. Videos piped in featured their most celebrated politicians and hangers-on, all echoing the same impassioned and urgent message. This nation as we know it will cease to exist unless a Democrat is elected to the White House in November. The following week, the Republicans held their own nominating convention, heavy on nepotism, and featuring many of the minorities the president has belittled or tried to keep out of the country. Members of the president's cabinet proved fealty to their leader by saying exactly what they were told to say, while scores of his previous cabinet members and closest political allies watched from jail. Each Republican speaker echoed the same impassioned and urgent message. This nation as we know it will cease to exist unless a Republican is elected to the White House in November. But strong, disruptive, violent winds weren't only blowing around the political conventions. Hurricane Laura blasted ashore in southwest Louisiana, bringing with it life-changing devastation for those in its path. The storm continued north until it spotted Chicago's south side on the horizon, and then took a sharp turn right, eastward, to avoid being shot. The president stated he's forcing TikTok to be either sold to an American company or cease operations in the U.S. TikTok is yet another popular app on kids' phones that leaves parents unsure of what it is, how it works, or whether it's important. It's rumored that the president wants to remove the app from the U.S., so kids will hopefully take up Twitter and become followers of POTUS, thereby discovering, contrary to what they've always been taught, that poor grammar, bad spelling, and public shaming of anyone that disagrees with you is not only okay, but presidential. The state of Alabama extended its mask ordinance under the governor's amended Safer at Home order, which, like all previous orders, was quickly ignored. Masks violate our rights, one unmasked and sweaty protester exclaimed through a cough when told about the extended order. Meanwhile, National Geographic, filming a documentary on the occurrences of modern-day Darwinism, began following the unmasked protester. And finally, it appears SEC football will begin in September. Stadium crowd sizes will be greatly reduced and sideline protocols may be changed, but the games will go on. Football officials asked, what poses a greater threat to a player's health? A charging 300-pound lineman or a 125-nanometer virus? Officials conferred, decided it's a toss-up, and set the team's competitive schedules. Alabamians everywhere echoed one fan's impassioned and urgent message. This nation as we know it will cease to exist unless Alabama and Auburn play each other in November. I'm Cam Marston, trying to keep it real.
To hear more of Cam Marston's commentaries, search for Keeping It Real on your favorite podcast app or find them on Facebook.